Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Side of Sauce podcast, a podcast where we talk and sometimes you listen. And I'm joined
Only
once again,
sometimes.
only sometimes, because I don't know where y'all been. Come back, please. Listen to us.
Where have we been?
Facts. Where have we been? Apparently not here, not in the booth, not recording. But it's the start of a new year, a fresh start, a fresh template, and time for me to make up new excuses to myself why we haven't recorded. But as always, let's introduce our guests first. Starting off, we have the lovely, always delightful
Scully.
Scully.
He is delightful.
And then, of course, we also have Johnny. Back again, once again, probably the most consistent member on here.
The most consistent.
The most consistent, probably. Of course, other than myself. But, of course, it's the
Bro,
start.
you're not here for after recording because I'm recording, man. I record every Tuesday and Thursday. What are you talking about?
Facts. Those are just all lost episodes. I don't know where they are.
The ARG.
Sometimes I think about uploading just like the old shitty recordings that we have and just throwing them on there as lost episodes,
Oh, God.
just for the fun of it.
Lost. You just get all the YouTube Lost Media content creators super hyped over this super obscure podcast. Like, yeah, guys, we got to get these lost episodes where they talk about freaking animals fighting each other. Yeah.
Top 10 Lost
Yeah.
Media, number 1, Animal Abuse Side of Sauce podcast. But it's the start of a new year. It's officially now 2022. This pandemic has been going on for 2 years, which is amazing. Not really. I hate it. It still sucks.
We
But-
all hate it. I mean, I don't think anyone likes it. Not even anyone, man.
No, but the start of a new year, we all thought that we'd be going into this new year fresh and open-minded. We thought it'd be a good time. We'd put everything from 2020, 2021 behind us. And then the CEO of, what is it, Square Enix, comes out and says, let's start putting NFTs in our video games. So we're fucked,
NFT
basically.
time. We do live in a society.
We live in a society. I've had this conversation multiple times with many people about NFTs.
Including me and the last episode.
In the last episode, I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't see how NFTs are going to become this big main thing. I think it's kind of ridiculous, kind of silly. But I do think it's funny when you go on Twitter and you see people posting about their stupid monkeys or something, and they're like, "Oh,
Wait a second.
What?
Wait, James.
What?
Why don't we make Side of Sauce NFTs?
Now you're thinking like a businessman." Welcome back. We're introducing Side of Sauce NFTs of my personal disgruntled face. And it'll be...
You mean your normal face?
Yes. $460,000.
No, Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Did you hear about Eminem buying an NFT of one of those stupid fucking apes for like $460,000?
Good God.
It's not a joke. This is real. This is real news that he bought one.
God, we live in a society, man.
And there was a the only reason I know this is because it pops up in my feed a bunch, is where apparently there's like this thing that apparently these people are called bored apes or something. And like they at the end of a year they throw a party on a boat where they just look at each other's NFTs. And I don't
You're
get
just screenshotting the entire time.
it. You're just taking pictures.
They're like just screenshotting and yelling at each other. Stop screenshotting the NFT, bro. It doesn't mean you have it.
I love Twitter because like people argue about NFTs the worst on there. Like,
There's a reason I don't have Twitter, man.
yeah. Listen, Twitter is not healthy for you. It's not a good place. But if you're
Social
on it,
media's not helping you.
listen, yeah, social media isn't helpful. Technically almost nothing in this world is good for you. The sun gives you cancer. Food makes you obese if you eat too much of it. And like basically everything can kill you.
This podcast gives me cringe. Yeah.
Yeah, honestly. But
Well, that's why you should listen.
hell
Like,
yeah.
what is it? You build up an immunity to it. Yeah,
Yeah, honestly.
it's the number one reason you should listen to us.
Exactly. So, 2022, not off to a great start, but we still got an incredible lineup of video games ahead of us. So, I wanted to come on
All
here.
filled with
What?
all will be filled with NFTs.
Could you imagine?
Hopefully, I mean, of course, that's what we want, right?
Hell
Isn't that
yeah.
what the community's been asking for?
Could you imagine?
Oh, wait, it isn't? Oh, it doesn't matter.
Could
Doesn't
you,
matter.
the newest Zelda game full of NFTs, and the only way to beat Ganon is to collect all the NFTs. At the same time, that sounds stupid and ludicrous, but at the same time, I can kind of see that happening.
I feel like I'm surprised Nintendo hasn't already jumped on the bandwagon. I feel like Nintendo would be the company that would decide NFTs are what the game needs, and then every game journalist would be like, "By the way, NFTs are the next big thing in gaming, and NFTs are Game of the Year."
I think the most likely next company to jump on NFTs is like Activision or Blizzard or Konami. One of those three is like, unfortunately, how I see it, because I remember back in the day when Konami charged real money for quote unquote DLC, which was just like a red dot on your screen so you could aim your gun, and for
That
save
was a
files.
DLC.
Yeah, and for save files.
What? That's called a crime, bro. It's called robbery.
I think it was like
It's not-
five. I think it was like $5.
I thought the red dot was Activision.
Was it Activision?
I know Activision
Yeah.
used to sell reticles you could buy for your like red dot sites.
Yeah, it was a red dot reticle in Black Ops 4.
Oh my goodness. That is ridiculous. Why? Why pay like any money? Why? Why would you do that to yourself? DLC has
Because
like,
people want to flex.
yeah, true. People want to flex, but I think DLC actually has been getting better in most video games as of recent. Like, when you think about recent video games that have DLC in them, there's a bunch of scummy ones. Like, there's a bunch of like scummy DLC out there that's like, come on. But I think we're actually progressing. We're actually getting closer to like really, really good DLC, because we're seeing a lot
The
of
DLC renaissance.
more of a DLC renaissance, where we're seeing better DLC for games that actually have a purpose to exist and that people actually want to pay and buy for.
Yeah.
It's not like stuff where it's already on the disc and you have to pay to access it. That shit always was so fucking annoying.
No, I don't know, man. I loved it. That's my favorite part of the game. I buy the game, then I gotta buy parts of the game already that I already own. Not just not a standard DLC, just buy part of the game that I already own.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Hell yeah.
Who didn't?
Who didn't love that? My favorite part of fucking Assassin's Creed is I had to pay to stab someone. Just like the real British experience.
Yeah, you could only get the DLC if you main Soap in Warzone, right?
What? I've never played
Soap-
Warzone.
I don't either. But isn't Soap British?
I don't know. I know nothing about Call of Duty nowadays. I have not
Hey
played.
man, Soap's not modern. That's old, man. I think he's in the newer one. But no, dude, he's from Modern Warfare.
It's been a hot minute since I played any Modern Warfare,
Oh, I
Call
forgot.
of
You play
Duty.
PlayStation. You don't play games. You just play NFT Simulator.
Hell yeah. I fucking love NFT Simulator God of War. But it's really been a hot minute since I played any Call of Duty Modern Warfare game.
Me too, honestly. I feel that.
I think the last time
The only
I
time I
played
ever played.
Modern Warfare... I don't know. But what were you saying?
The last time I played it was like Black Ops 2, and I played that more recently, because I go back and play the classics. Like, people are over, we're like, yeah, let's play Call of Duty.
Mhm.
Let's play a good one, actually.
Honestly, the last time I played Black Ops 2, which I think was the last Call of Duty or Modern Warfare game I played, was with you guys. We were just hanging out and we played Black Ops 2 Zombies.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the only time I ever really played them.
And honestly, I think that's the main selling point for them. I think that's the reason why Call of Duty and Modern Warfare have like continued to exist. Because I don't think their gameplay is all that is all that great. It's not all that enticing, especially to
I
some
mean, to
other.
be fair, there are a lot of games like I mean, think about how much like I still play Minecraft to this day, man. And let's be honest, Minecraft's gameplay loop is pretty simple. Like
It's
simple
simple.
doesn't mean bad, but it's simple as fuck, and it's the base.
I'm
It's
not
the
saying
same.
it. I'm
You're
not saying.
crafting stuff.
I'm not saying that it's simple. I'm just saying it's not. Cause technically most shooters, on a
Aren't the same.
most shooters on a fundamental level have a simple gameplay loop. You shoot an enemy.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad you specified gameplay loop and not just shooters have the same loop. I'm gonna say, bro, what are you talking about? It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, exactly. Not. Listen, I have evolved, thankfully. Because I remember back in the day, back when I was like really much younger, I was like, all shooters are the same. All shooters play the same. Everything is. No, you're stupid. You haven't played a shooter, obviously. Overwatch doesn't play like Call of Duty. Call of Duty doesn't play like Doom, which doesn't play like Halo. All have different designs. All have different
Mhm.
not different gameplay loops, but different variety in the gameplay loop.
It's like driving a different car.
Yeah.
They're all the same in this. You know, like in America at least. You know, you sit on the left side and you drive on the right side of the road, but that doesn't make all cars even close to the same.
Yeah, like all cars are in America
yeah, I
are
totally,
basically
I
the
totally get
same.
what you're saying.
Like you drive and you hit a pedestrian and you move on.
God.
But yeah, like I think the game that really opened up my mind to what shooting games or shooters and whatever you want to call it.
Overwatch.
No, not Overwatch. It was actually Doom 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Doom 2016 was the one that was like, oh wow, this is way more fun and way better than I initially gave this credit for. And yeah, and then I played it. Then Overwatch. And then Overwatch was like, wow, this is fun. And now I'm like, oh yeah, Overwatch. Overwatch is like dropped. I don't know why. I don't know. Overwatch is weird. Overwatch is like, it is still fun to play. Don't get me wrong. Like if I casually want to play Overwatch and I like load up a quick match and I play it, it's like cool, that was fun. But it's definitely not to the point where it was back in like when it first came out, 2016, or even around the time of 2017, where like everybody and their grandma was playing that game. Everyone was playing it. So like it was like it was like the new fresh game on the map. I remember when people were like, "Oh, this is gonna take down TF2. This is gonna be the best competitive esports shooter," and like here we are now, in the year 2022, when that is just far from the truth. Actually, I don't think I've played TF2 now I come to think about it. Have you guys played Team Fortress 2? I know Scully has.
I actually have not.
I've seen a lot of the videos about it, like the meet the match, not the meet the match, the meet the team, and like a bunch of the promotional videos.
Can I derail this really quick for 1 second?
Yeah.
So I'm on Amazon. I was looking at a Warhammer. I was looking at the Black Templar transfer kit thing or whatever,
Mhm.
and I looked down to see if I was curious if it was Primaris or if it was for Firstborn Marines. And I go down to the comment section or in the description, and it says bestsellers rank. It's the 22nd thousandth in automotive, and 233rd place in automotive replacement air filters. That's what it's ranked
What?
as. The
As an
Warhammer
air
kit
filter?
is- for a car, the Warhammer kit is ranked for automotive air filters.
Yo, can you
I'm saying
imagine?
it to the Warhammer chat. Like, what? Like,
Can you imagine? Like, just
why?
I'm gonna scrape all my bits into my oil, just so I can get that maximum horsepower,
You should.
that Warhammer power. Bro, speaking of Warhammer, I just got like a whole. I know we were talking off the air about it, but I just got a whole bunch of Skaven, and I'm super excited about it. Like,
Listen, man, that's all we talk about off the air. Dude, don't even try and act cool.
I know.
We're a bunch of losers here.
We really-
This is literally all we talk about. We're like, hey guys, how you doing? All good. So Warhammer wise, anyways. So it's like, yeah, we're a bunch of losers.
Yo, Johnny, you're in debt? Great, cool. Anyway, I have this Skaven idea.
Honestly,
But yeah. I'm glad that Warhammer is we're getting new codexes for the Tau, and I think they say February now, because I think it was supposed to be January, but they pushed it back. It's either like February or March that we're getting new codex for the Tau. And I just bought my first codex for the Skaven. Because beforehand, I used to be a pirate, so to say, for
Understandable.
for legal purposes, of course. But yeah, now I actually bought the codex for the Skaven. Yeah, it's way different. It's way cooler than holding like a PDF file. Because now I don't know why. I don't know why holding like a real book in your hand is way different than holding than reading something off a screen. It's just different. It's so cool.
Yeah, no, I totally understand. It's like, oh,
That's why I would much rather own like a Series X Xbox than a Series S, because I love holding a physical game in my hand instead of like
yeah, it's doing the better.
downloading.
It just makes it better.
Yeah, instead of downloading a game, which isn't all that cool. Even if I like the game, I would much rather physically own it. Which is why I'm kind of upset. I don't own any physical copy of Doom Eternal. Never mind. I just thought about that.
That's crazy.
I know.
I honestly don't own a lot of physical games anymore these days because I play PC and then Switch, so it just doesn't really work out for me, honestly.
That's understandable. I've always liked the idea of having like a shelf and you display your games on there, kind of like how you would like if you had like a bookshelf or something. I don't know. That's always been cool to
I
me.
do that with some games, honestly. Like I have all the the collectibles for the Doom game, which why not? And then like I actually totally have that in my thing. I have my case that like I just like the way the boxes look. They're like my AirPods and phone came in.
Yeah.
Something about them just appeals to my aesthetic, so I just keep them displayed there because it's like there's nothing in there that's of value. Like I have the phone in my hand, but it's like, oh man, that box is clean. I'm gonna keep that.
Clean as fuck. But yeah.
Ish clean.
Ish clean. Man, so another thing I also want to mention is if I sound different at all, it's because I upgraded on my microphone in my headset. Like this is a new thing for me. Starting with 2022, I got a new laptop to record and play video games on. I got a new microphone. I got a new headset. So I'm not recording off of like the old like headphone plus like kind of mic thing that it had. So if I sound any better, yay. But
You do sound better.
Thank you. I'm very excited. I've been so excited to record podcasts with this. I was so excited because I set it up all like 2 days ago when I got back, and I've been very ecstatic. I've been sending pictures to the group chat, being like, "Hey guys, look at this." I'm so excited, so ecstatic about it. But now that we get to do this, it's so fun. So
It is good.
I'm looking through my notes and what we have to talk about. I have rats written down.
Rats.
I literally just have rats written down. Nothing else. Rat. I remember this. Okay. So, I don't know if you guys even remember this, but I sent an image to our group chat a while ago where it was like, they recently taught rats how to play Doom. I think it was
Very smart, sophisticated animals.
Listen, rats are officially like I think the second smartest animal now because they've learned to play Doom. They can do it, and they were talking about making a Twitch stream for it.
That's kind of cool.
Dude, honestly, I would subscribe to the Twitch stream immediately.
Are they playing Doom Original or are they playing Doom 2016? Because that would be amazing. The rats just start ripping and tearing, just like, holy crumbs! These rats are amazing!
It's the original Doom. Dude, could you... I would love to see a rat play Doom 2016 and he's better than like everybody on the planet. He is amazing at that game. He is killing people. He is ripping the demons to shreds.
Quite literally.
Quite figuratively and literally. That would be amazing. If you could teach a rat to play any video game, I think I think teaching a rat to play like a fighting game and have it actually win against like human people would be fucking hilarious.
Dude, have it play Among Us.
Guys, it's the rat, and you just
The rat immediately like just gets offline, just rage quits, starts like it's like, oh god, he really does play Among Us.
The rat immediately goes to your house because he found your address, and he starts chewing through the wires in your house so you can't play anything. Lights go out, power goes out, and then you just see like a fucking swarm of rats at your door. and then you realize it's the Skaven Empire.
And you realize you're doomed.
And then the Doom soundtrack starts playing. But this isn't like the first amazing thing that rats have done. I was surprised. I went down the rabbit hole of science just to see what we've been able to teach rats how to do. We've taught rats how to drive cars. This isn't like a bit. Like, I'm not being like, oh, Ratatouille, huh? We taught it to cook. No, we literally taught a rat. We made like little tiny rat cars, and then we taught them how to drive it. That is amazing.
Bruh. That is amazing.
Like, the ones that I was looking at, I think they're made out of like plastic bottles, and like they have like little steering wheels, and they just fucking drive around. That's amazing. Like,
Just drifting.
yo, can you imagine street rat races? Like, you hear a rat just
Honestly, I would be down for that.
you hear like a rat like revving up its engine in the wall in your house, and you're like trying to fall asleep.
It's like, oh god, is that a two-stroke or is that a... What is that? Oh, it's like, oh man, my rat. He's lit.
He's lit. He's lit. But yeah, that's amazing. Then I thought I heard... No. Okay, so those are the two things that I wrote down. I must have done like 5 minutes of research. Okay. But yeah, that's amazing. You could teach a rat to play a video game. I would love to pull up to like a Street Fighter 2 tournament and watch like a rat beat the ever-living snot out of like the top players there. Just for fun. Just for giggles. Doesn't take any prize money, beats people up, leaves, and refuses to elaborate.
It's like, heck yeah, why not, bro?
Hell yeah. I'm looking down. I guess we can kind of talk about this. I don't think Scully has seen Spider-Man, but have you, Johnny?
I have.
You've seen Spider-Man? Scully, have you seen Spider-Man? I don't think you have.
He's not.
He's not? Okay. So,
It was really good, but yeah, we can't talk about it. And we also don't want to spoil it for anyone listening.
yeah. I think
We forget
I
about
think
people listening.
next recording we'll talk about Spider-Man, because I've heard some interesting things from the guy who's supposed to be on there. We're supposed to have one of our new.
Okay.
We're supposed to have a new person on. He's never been on the podcast before. And he's had some very interesting thoughts apparently about Spider-Man: No Way Home. So,
Are they wrong thoughts?
I don't know. I'll have to see. I haven't actually heard. I just heard he's had interesting thoughts about it.
Okay.
Like, how do you mean interesting?
You'll see. You'll see. But yeah, that'll be for next time. So I'll skip over that, and then we have, the brand new Lego set that just released yesterday, Sonic the Hedgehog. Fucking dope. I don't know if we can really add to that. It's just a really cool Lego set, and I really
Which
want
one?
it. The
The
new,
Sonic one?
Yeah, the new Sonic one that just came out, and I
Yeah,
think
that
there's
is actually pretty cool looking.
I think there's a couple of other sets that came out yesterday. I don't remember, but I think there are. Okay, so this is something I kind of have mixed feelings about. I'm assuming Scully might have seen the trailer for this, but there is now a new live-action Halo series on Paramount Plus that's coming out in a couple months.
That looks pretty cool, honestly.
I have mixed thoughts about it, but I'm curiously intrigued to it.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, hopeful is like the best word. I would love for it to be something like a Castlevania or a Witcher, but I'm not expecting that.
Wait. Did you just say you like the Witcher TV series?
Yeah. Do you not like The Witcher?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty pathetic, actually, unfortunately. As much as I wanted to like it. Henry Cavill is amazing as Geralt. I mean, like, dude, just hands down, he's awesome.
Henry
Literally
Cavill's-
everything else in the show was just meh.
Henry Cavill's my man crush.
Like, his portrayal was so good. I haven't seen the second season, to be fair, but the first season I really didn't like. I thought it was kind of cringy how they tried to jump, because in the first two books, they slowly open up the world, and they kind of introduce you to this universe where Geralt's a part of, and, But in the show, they basically like from the very beginning are like, "Hey guys, we're gonna try and be as ambitious as Game of Thrones, but forget the budget and CGI Game of Thrones had. We're just gonna make it look like poop, and we're just gonna jump and not give anybody character development like Ciri or Yennefer." And I was like, bro, like they literally just like shooting these characters, and Geralt's all edgy and cold because that's Geralt, like, and he's supposed to get warmer, but Ciri, they gave her like no time for development. They just kind of pushed her, and I was like, bro, that's not fair to her. She's a good character. And Yennefer was literally her plot point was, I'm a bitch. I'm edgy. Yeah. I was really disappointed with how they treated them. I felt they made them into cardboard characters when they were so much more dynamic in the books. And I was like, I couldn't.
To be fair, I also have not read the books. I also have not played any of the games.
I haven't played the games, but I've read the books. Oh, the books are great.
Although I kind of want to play The Witcher 3 because I heard it's really good.
I'll tell you a little secret. The books are almost all of them, if not all of them, are free on YouTube as audiobooks as well. So,
man, that's the perfect form of like for me reading a book as an audiobook because I just can't do like the sitting down and reading books now anymore. Mainly because I don't have time a whole lot of the time. Like I just don't have time throughout my day to stop what I'm doing, stop building my Warhammer, or stop playing my video game and read a book. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's not that I don't have the time, it's that I don't make the time. And I find it hard, especially with ADHD, it's hard to focus when reading. So I love to, like, say, paint my models or do some PC gaming, or even just, like, I'll be laying down, relaxing if I'm, like, want to take a little rest real quick, but I listen to my thing.
There's only a couple.
It's the perfect.
There's only a couple books where I didn't listen to anything. I just sat down and read this book. The most recent book I've done that with is Dune. Dune is a really good book.
Yeah, I just read the series, and man, that stuff's pretty fire.
I read the first one. I'm gonna go get the second.
I've read the first 4 or 5. I can't remember.
Damn.
Like I said, I read these pretty fast, so I bought the 2 Warhammer books on Audible, the Blackstone Fortress book, and I bought the one for Cursed City, and I finished them both 2 days later. So I finished them both in 2 days. I was like, hey, maybe I got a problem, but at least I'm reading, sort of.
What did you think about the Warhammer book? I have actually not read any of the Warhammer books.
So, Cursed City was the one that came out for that game that they are re-releasing again this upcoming year. It's more like a version if you combined wargaming with Monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
And that book was really good. Oh my god, that was the one I genuinely like. I literally burned through it so fast because I could not stop listening to it. It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Man, oh my god. And it sets up, there's no spoilers or anything, but it sets up perfectly for where you would pick up. If you were to read the book and then start playing the game, it magically fits. It's like, oh great, that's perfect. And it was really well written. It had some interesting characters. I loved it. Probably one of my favorite books I've read, fantasy-wise, in the past 3 years.
All right.
But the Blackstone Fortress, it was fine. I mean, it was fun, and it had some cool characters in it, in development especially, but overall the story was just kind of so that was really a bummer, but the Cursed City was amazing.
Yeah,
I have read some of the physical books, though, and they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm thinking about reading some of the books, but the main problem is I just don't know where to start.
Well, what I did is I got one. So one time I went to the Warhammer store, they gave me this free little sampler.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a bunch of short stories, and I was like, okay, whatever. I'll just throw this away because that's usually what you do when you get junk at a store.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I had it in my bag, and I started skimming through it, and the next thing I knew, I finished the whole thing, and I was like, holy smokes, pretty good. And actually, if you want, I can give you the little sampler thing because it's really cool, and it got me interested in a couple different things. So after that, I bought this Sisters of Battle book, which I've been reading, and it's kind of nice. But the one I've been eyeing, and I'm going to take with me when I go to vacation in a week or so, is the Belisarius Call, the Great Work. Oh, dude, because they had a short story for that as well, that ties into that, and I was literally just hooked.
Interesting.
So good.
Okay, interesting. So I might actually have to get into these books. While you were talking too, I've been listening, and I've also been looking online about the books. And I
have the Orc one if you want to borrow it. Brutal and Cunning. It's supposed to be like a comedy or whatever. I haven't read it, but if you want to borrow it, I'll just need it back, obviously.
Okay. I have noticed an extreme lack of Skaven and I don't understand why. Except for this one book, Warhammer Adventures.
I'm pretty sure there's some Skaven ones because I saw them at Barnes and Noble at one point actually.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You have to look on a lot of them.
Or
Okay.
search. There's so many books, man. Just search by what you're interested in. If you like Skaven, obviously you do.
Yeah.
Search Skaven book, and then you'll find some.
Warhammer Advent. What is Warhammer Adventures? It looks like a more kid friendly one. It is okay. It's just like a kid friendly Warhammer book. That's so interesting.
That's interesting. I didn't know they made those.
I didn't know they made those either. Apparently, there's like a whole series of them. They make like kid friendly Warhammer. I didn't know there's like a thing kid friendly Warhammer stuff. For how brutal
I mean,
the series
honestly,
is.
it's pretty cool. Well, I mean, it's not like I always used to make the joke whenever they got kids version of something. I always made the joke, why don't you just make a kids version of 50 Shades of Grey? But I mean, not everything has to be like it has to be graphic or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, I haven't read that book, 50 Shades, and I never plan on it. But
I have.
like,
It's hot. I'm just
Oh.
kidding.
what a sad loser. But like Warhammer, it's not about the violence and stuff that makes it. It's about the big epic fight. It's boys literally just fight. That's what we like, fight. So I can totally say you can make it kid friendly. You just don't have a lot of gore and violence. I think that's pretty cool, actually. They make it for
Yeah.
kids. When I went to the Warhammer store today, the guy I was playing was a dad, and his kid was his moral support the whole game.
I think it's really.
He was telling him, "Go get him! He's got dogs over there. He's got that little sulfur hounds." He's like, "Kill him!" Kill my dad. I was like, "Yeah."
I've
It's like,
noticed.
you get him.
I've noticed that this weird section of the Warhammer community, people are like, "Oh, I hate this babyfication of all this Warhammer stuff. I hate it. Why do they keep making it kid friendly? Like, do you not want?
Do you
Do you want?
do you know what the Demon Kielbasa is?
Do you not want people to get interested in your series? Do you not want people to come and like enjoy this too? The word gatekeeping.
Well, people say that, and yet they recently in lore they released. Do you know what the Demon Kielbasa is, or Kielbasa?
No, I don't. What is it?
Don't look it up. It's pretty jacked up. It's the most edgy thing they have ever made in Warhammer. Flat out, just objectively, it is. It's got all the things you could imagine that are perverse, and then some. So it's like, yeah, man, that's
I
pretty
don't
recent
know.
lore they made for bad guys.
I don't know. They made something called Blood Angels in Warhammer. That's pretty edgy to me.
All right, well, go look it up then and tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. I'm willing to believe. I'm willing to believe you right now. I'll look it up when we finish this episode. But yeah, I always thought that was kind of funny. Even like when I learned about it, I think Blood Angels is kind of a goofy, edgy name, but I kind of like it at the same time. Not a
I
bad
love the
thing.
Blood Angels name.
I've actually don't really know about any. I don't actually know anything about the Blood Angels other than. Yeah, actually, I don't know anything. I just try to think.
Their lore is really cool. I thought they were kind of cheesy till I found their lore out, and like I'm not even going to start a whole tirade, but it's pretty cool.
I like the salamander side of the what you call them, the Space Marines. They're actually
I
like
do
really cool
too.
guys.
They actually get to see their family, and they're actually pretty nice guys, and they
They're
put their
actu-
lives above citizens. Like that's really cool.
They're actually not the worst thing in the world. You know, they're actually kind of decent people, kind of.
I like that. Yeah, like not everything has to be edgy. Like that's one of the reasons why the Salamanders are probably one of my favorites because they're genuinely wholesome and they're kind, and
That's why I
their
like.
whole mission is to save humanity and be good,
That's why I
not
like.
like some of them are edgy.
That's why I liked a lot of the older Tau lore because they're not.
I
just
agree.
Malicious,
I think we have this discussion every podcast, but the old Cal lore is better.
where they have like this evil, malicious intent. Like I don't know.
That's just edgy. It's way edgier than just having a decent. Oh, this is an alien race that thinks they fight for ideals, and they're kind of violent, sure, maybe when they fight, but they fight for an ideal world. That's not edgy. That's just realistic, maybe. Come on, man. Like you can't tell me the whole universe is edgy.
You can't tell me that the whole universe is going through their angst phase. Honestly.
To be fair, all my factions are edgy factions, but that's neither here nor there.
I don't know if I would consider a lot of my factions edgy. I mean, the Skaven aren't
You aren't
edgy.
edgy.
The Skaven,
Dude, they are chaos.
they're just kind of assholes.
That's true.
I love Skaven lore because it's just them being assholes to each other, like every day, and just seeing who's like the biggest asshole. And
Like,
then
what if I was a jerk? I am. Great.
Wow, you ate your child last week? Well, guess what? I slaughtered my entire family just because I felt like it. Huh.
Is that
Eat
their
you.
lore?
Kind of. Not entirely off. Yeah. I think I told you about the story where it's like the one Skaven dude who actually was like a decent person, and he like tried
He
to
got
make a
killed?
revolution, and then they killed him. It killed the people who snitched on him just because they could.
I mean, makes sense to me.
Honestly,
Understandable. Have
understandable.
a good day.
Amazing. But if I don't change the subject now, we're probably going to continue to talk about Warhammer, and I don't think a lot of people on here kind of know what that is. So I'm gonna see if we can
Sour
transition.
Sauce Podcast, or Warhammer Podcast.
Honestly, sounds like a good podcast to me. So, oh, I guess we could quickly mention this. There's apparently a new live-action Mega Man movie coming out on Netflix sometime. Is it this year? Yeah, next year. So, I just want y'all to keep that in your minds when you think about good movies coming out next year. I think there's actually like an official cast. There is like, it's so bad. Oh my god, I have to edit this part.
What are we
out.
talking about? I disconnected for a second. What are we talking about?
All right, so let me I can just edit that. I can like edit that part out. So
Okay.
next, so there's this new live action Mega Man movie coming out for Netflix.
What?
Yeah,
Okay, I guess. Like, I don't know. I'm not a huge Mega Man fan, but like, I guess, man.
I've
I
played
guess.
a couple of the games.
What do you think, Scully?
And there's an official cast out, I think, right now. If I can find it. Yeah, it's an official live action movie being made by Netflix of all people.
It's probably got The Rock or Kevin Hart as one of the characters I'm calling right now.
Yo, Kevin Hart as the Dr. Wily, the evil mad scientist.
What is it? God, I can't think of his name. Denzel Washington as Mega Man.
I was gonna say something like, oh fuck, I forgot his name. There's like I gotta find it. I gotta find the actual cast of this movie because like it is just,
Bizarre.
it is bizarre. Okay, here we go. Mark Hamill as Dr. Albert Wiley. Dwayne Johnson
Alright.
as Gutsman.
I called it.
Peter Dinkle as Iceman. Finn Wolfhard as Mega Man? You mean the guy from Stranger Things?
This just sounds like a shit show, bro.
Harrison Ford as Dr. Light.
No, you're kidding me. Dude, this is just a disgrace.
This is sad. This is upsetting. Oh my goodness. But I'm just keep that in mind when we talk about like people say this a lot since Detective Pikachu came out. They're like, "Oh, we've entered this new renaissance of video game movies." No, we haven't. Most
Was
of this,
Detective Pikachu good in your opinion?
no, it was not. It is not a very good.
I did
movie.
not think it was good either. I thought it was pretty bad.
Detective Pikachu was not very good.
Like, I totally get how it could be good if you are a hardcore
If-
Pokemon fan. Like,
If you're
But, like,
yeah, if you're,
it's kind of like when the Book of Boba Fett came out. I've been saying to everyone, "Oh, it's the best thing I've seen yet." That's because I'm a hardcore Boba Fett fan. And everybody else has said, "Hey, man, it's just all right so far." And I was like, I kind of realized I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm just," I kind of realized I was like, "Oh, I'm just biased because I love Boba Fett." So like, of course, I think it's the best thing since sliced bread. So yeah, if you saw Detective Pikachu and you were a freaking Pokemon fan, of course it was the best thing. Like, but most people don't see it that way.
yeah, most people don't. But Detective Pikachu is just. You're either a really hardcore Pokemon fan or you're an actual child if you really like that movie.
Or you're just wrong.
Or you're just wrong. The only halfway decent video game movie we've ever had is probably not biased when I say this is probably Sonic.
I know you are.
I'm
I know you.
no,
You were so biased.
I'm not biased. This is probably the only halfway decent one, and even then, it's just it's there. It's not amazing. It's not horrible. When I first saw the movie, I really liked the movie, but like the more I think about it, and the one time I rewatched it afterwards, it's just kind of there.
That's the
What
worst.
movie?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's the worst when you think you see a movie and you're like, that was a good movie, and you go back and you're like, what? No, this doesn't hold up to what I remember. Like that's so much painful, man. I hate that so much.
I hate that feeling so much. It's so depressing because like
You just feel betrayed. You're like, dude, this movie I was really loving. Like, you go back and watch a TV show and you're like, this isn't what I remember. It's not as good.
I know, like come on, man. But I have hopes that the second movie is going to be better. Although I don't think it will be. I have very much I have concerns about it. But here's the hoping. Here's the hoping.
I feel you.
Here's the hoping. Sexy Knuckles is better,
Oh, he will be. He is a snack, bro.
bro. His voice. He lied when he said that was not going to be devilishly sexy.
Knuckles, more like cutie pie,
Does it
Mr. Handsome.
Does it look like I need your power?
Yeah, probably.
You know. And I think that's kind of. I think that's everything on the document. Okay. So now we can go back over and see what people have asked us.
I really was hoping you were going to say we can go back to Warhammer. Damn.
The first thing I see when I open up what people have asked us or hot takes. So the first thing is. The first thing is by Caps Lockilla on Instagram. He says, I eat ass exclusively to this podcast.
So what he's saying is, when he's listening to quality literature or quality,
when he's listening to quality content, it's
he eats quality food. Yeah, yeah. So there
exactly.
you go. You phrased it the way I couldn't. Thank you, James.
You know what? I'm glad. I'm honored that our show is even seen as remote quality for you to eat some quality food like that. It's just so funny because it's the first thing I saw.
He couldn't be being ironic. No, he's genuinely serious. I know him. I know he's got to be right.
I know he's being genuine. This is what else could this be? So our next question, something we can actually answer, by Sandra Soupy account. What is your favorite movie soundtrack or video game soundtrack? An actual question.
Okay.
Okay.
Favorite movie soundtrack is probably even a movie. I actually have never seen the movie. The Tron soundtrack by Deadmau5. I'm sorry, Daft Punk. I'm stupid. The Tron soundtrack by Daft Punk. That soundtrack, man.
We were just talking about rats being able to drive cars and play video games, and now a dead one can make music. Holy shit!
Magical.
Magic. Actually, I don't think I've never seen Tron, but I don't think I've ever heard anything from Tron.
Dude, imagine the coolest techno cyberpunk soundtrack you could imagine, and then double it in quality, and then there you go.
Double in quality. Oh my goodness. My favorite movie soundtrack. It's actually a good question. The first one that really jumps to mind, and like, Jurassic Park is a really good soundtrack.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a given though.
It's, of course, the main theme to it, but like a lot of the other music in that movie is really good.
Oh yeah, the whole soundtrack's a piece of work. Not in a good way, not like a bad way. Like it's a really marvelous piece of engineering.
A lot of music also by Hans Zimmer, that composer. His music is fucking good. Like always.
He did The Dark Knight, didn't he?
He did The Dark Knight. I think he did Lion King. And even some of the movies that his soundtrack is in where the movie's not that great, his music still pops off. He did
he is a really good musician.
He did the music for Boss Baby. And that song goes hard for no reason.
He's like, alright, I'm gonna make this soundtrack with this generic ass thing so fucking beast you guys won't even be able to hell. That is for the Boss Baby.
Boss Baby, more like that boss music. but he also did the.
Oh,
He
that's
did,
like a really fucked up joke, man. I was like about to say, James, cut it right here,
I,
bro.
I think
This is-
I think
this
me and
is-
you thought of the same thing, and I was like,
I was like, I swear to God, I'm gonna leave this call if he does not shut the fuck up.
but
You'd be really concerned, bro.
he also did the soundtrack for what's that movie? The last X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix.
I don't think I saw that one honestly.
Dark Phoenix is one of the only X-Men movies I've seen. I've seen that one. I've seen the Wolverine origin movie, and I've seen Logan.
First Class.
Yes.
Logan's good.
I've seen First Class. Logan is a good movie. That also has a banger soundtrack too. Now that I think about it.
What is it? Another movie soundtrack or game soundtrack? I love the Mechanica soundtrack. Every song in that game is literally.
Yeah, you sent me
Slap.
that soundtrack because I was like, "What does that sound like?" And you're like, "Here it is," and it's dope.
Do you want to know another movie I've never seen and I probably will never see? It's a kind of, I think it's a sad movie. If I'm not mistaken, it's called Requiem for a Dream. It's basically supposed to be about, I believe, people suffering from like addiction or whatever. It's like supposed to be one of those like really artistic, sad movies. The soundtrack, the main song at least, hits so hard. Oh my gosh, you're like, what the heck is this? Like a game where you're like, dude, what am I listening to? Because this sounds like this could be something like I could like actually like listen to on a daily basis.
I know
It's not a soundtrack, man. It's like literal art.
the best video game soundtrack. There's a couple really good video game soundtracks when I really like stop to think
Doom.
about it. Let's get the biased one out of the way. My favorite video game, Sonic Unleashed, has a really good soundtrack where it pulls like different
Doom.
instruments from, like Doom Eternal specifically. But Sonic Unleashed pulls like different instruments from like different cultures around the world and like makes them into
That's
like
neat.
yeah, it makes it's a really good sound. No
Makes
matter
it to
what,
modern music.
yeah,
So it's like takes, yeah, kind of like that reminds you of the. Did you ever see the Avatar movie?
which one?
Okay, I should have specified James Cameron's Avatar.
Yes, I've seen James Cameron's Avatar.
So he didn't use it, but they made a whole. So they got music theory professors and everything in there, people that specialized in obscure musical instruments from unique cultures all over the world. So like I remember they had this one drum for this one island only in like the Philippines, and these different flutes from China, and those things, and they created their own style of music from the ground up in this whole language just for the movie, so it would sound like a real foreign music would sound like. And then they're like, oh, it doesn't rhyme very well, it doesn't sound good. We're just going to have them sing gibberish and make it sound pretty. And James Cameron completely ruined it with that, man. Because it genuinely was so complex and cool. I was like, what the hell? And then they're like, oh yeah, and then James Cameron said it didn't rhyme enough, it didn't sound cool, so we had to make them sing gibberish.
The thing about Avatar, James Cameron's Avatar, is that James Cameron's Avatar seems like a series that like a DM in his basement made. And he's like, oh, look at all these cool things. Look at all these cool things I made. But the players never show up to play the game. Because we haven't had a movie since, like... When the fuck did that movie come out? Like,
A while ago.
Like, a while ago.
2011?
2011? Yeah. And not to mention... I think you really... I don't know how... Do you like that movie?
I actually do. I only saw it recently, like the past 2 years, and I actually really liked it.
I thought it was It's
I
just
thought it looked for the longest time, and I never bothered to see it till I finally saw it, and I was like, holy crap.
to be
It's on
fair.
Disney Plus, I think.
To be fair, I actually haven't seen that movie in such a long time. I think the last time I saw it was when I was 15, so like a while ago. So
It's pretty spectacular, honestly. Like, it's pretty compelling.
But I just
was
remember
surprised.
thinking throughout the entire movie, I was like, this is just the plot of Pocahontas, but with blue people.
It is pretty much the plot of Pocahontas, but I mean, if that's the case, I mean, Dune is just, it's just basically, I was listening to Dune and I was realizing, because, Dune influenced so much, I was like, Dune is more or less just the story of every prince that gets lost in a land that's not his own. That's literally what it is, and I was like, it's so common. It's a little bit of, what's it called, Lawrence of Arabia, it's a little bit of, like, the Lost Prince, but it doesn't matter, because it's so fucking
It's so
good.
weird reading Dune for the first time after like experiencing what it's inspired and being like, wow, this was the origin. This was like the blueprints for everything.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It's crazy, but it's also cool.
It is really cool.
I bet that's what English teachers think about when they like then they have like Romeo and Juliet on. They're like, wow, this influenced everything. But for real, it's like fucking lame. and nobody likes it. I
Yeah,
can't say that.
I gotta agree.
Yeah, but Dune is really actually genuinely an awesome book, and I encourage everyone who listens to this, all 8 of you that listen to this, to go out and read that book. At least read the first one, or listen to the audiobook or something. Watch the movie even.
Audiobook you can find on YouTube all over, yeah.
Mhm.
But what is it? The books get weird. They get very wordy and
Have you? I don't know.
very fast.
I don't know if you've ever known this or you've ever learned this, but have you heard about the original metaphor for spice in the book? What it was supposed to represent?
What was it?
Spice, originally by the author, was supposed to represent weed.
Oh no, that was obvious. Oh no, I totally got that.
Okay, I didn't know if you knew that. Because I don't know. I always think that's funny to when people talk about Dune, and especially if it's somebody's first time getting into Dune, and they're especially if they've only seen the movie. It's kind of funny to talk about that.
What is it, dude? You know what's funny as hell?
Hmm.
They mentioned things in the movie for Dune that they shouldn't mention till the end of the first book, and I was watching the thing. I was like, what the hell? That's a plot hole right there. That's a thing at the end of the movie. And I was like, dude, what are they doing?
So, how I experienced Dune was I watched the movie first, and then I read the book.
I was reading the book, and then I got literally unintentionally, I got to the part where the movie ends, and then I went and watched the first movie, and I was like, what the hell? I literally just, because it was 20 minutes after I finished listening to that part of the audiobook, and I was like, hey, I'm going to go watch the movie now. I felt like it. And it got to the same exact spot, and I was like, dude, this is trippy.
Dude,
it was funny.
I actually haven't watched the original Dune movie, the one that came out
Nor
long ago before either one of us are alive. That movie looks nuts. That movie looks funny and it looks nuts. But I think it'd be kind of funny if we hung out and we watched that movie.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be kind of dope. We could play Warhammer if we did it. We
could indeed.
Hell yeah. I'm itching. I've been itching for the past month to go out and play Warhammer. I've been feeling it. Because I've been building and I've been painting, and I'm like, wow, this is so much fun. I want to use them to do something,
Well, after we're done recording, tell me when you're off next, and we can play stuff a day.
Of course. When we're off the air, I'll tell you. We'll get all that details sorted out.
Because don't tell me now, bro.
Here's my address, here's my location, here's my zip code, and here's the funky digits on the back of my credit card.
Have fun.
But yeah, to get back to what the question actually was. Favorite video game soundtrack? Dune has a great soundtrack. I just thought about that. The movie has a good soundtrack. That scene where... Fuck, what's that scene? The ending scene has really good music to it. I don't know why that one specifically stuck in my head when he's going through the flashback at the end of the movie that's going to happen in the next movie. Fucking baller. But yeah, I actually have to read the second book soon. So I'm hoping to read...
It's weird, man. Because literally the first book, it's when you read a really shitty romance novel and there's always just sexual undertones and everything.
Yeah.
The second book literally starts out like that, and I was like, this is a very different perspective on everything. This is not the first book. And it just continues throughout the entire second book. And then it kind of disappears in the third book for the most part. But there's every now and then you'll get something it's very weirdly placed. So you ever just when you're talking to a friend and they just talk, I guess you could say it about this with Warhammer, everything, we eventually lead it to Warhammer.
Yeah.
It's or you have a friend that's really crass and everything they say ends up being a sexual phrase or joke, just it doesn't fit half the time. That's how I kind of felt at times. I was like, what is my man's on about? Is he missing his wife or something?
Yo, every character in Dune is just down bad for spice. That's how you could summarize the entire plot of that movie and book. At least the first one. I haven't read the second one, so I don't know. But hopefully soon. I've also been... Speaking of reading...
Yeah, I'd like you to read it so I can just... Because I need to discuss some of the plot that I don't like in some of the later books. I want to talk about it with someone, but nobody else has read it that far.
So what book have you read up to? Or listened to?
Let me see. I've read the first 2. I've read the first 3. I think the 4th or 5th.
Okay.
Then I got distracted with other stuff I was reading.
So speaking of other stuff, reading-wise, I've actually been getting into a lot of more comic books as of late. Cause yeah,
That's fun.
that was disgusting. I've been getting a lot more into the comic book side. Is that beforehand I would just kind of casually read comics. I'd like read a couple here
Yeah.
and there, and now I'm like getting full deep, like knee deep into it now. Beforehand,
All
I was
the
just a little
lore.
bit. I just had a little bit of buttery toes, and now I'm like fully knee deep into quicksand
Immersed.
right now. Not immersed, like my head is not underwater, but my knees are in there. My knees are deep down.
Mhm.
So, let me tell you how. Let me tell you something about Spider-Man. Spider-Man's crazy. I thought Spider-Man would be
It's
the most,
crazy.
I thought Spider-Man would be like simple. I thought it'd be the most easy to digest, and he was my favorite comic book character for like kind of a while. That's just crazy.
It's not as simple as you thought.
Not as simple as you would think. There's a lot of depressing things in there, and one of the ones I recently like read within like the past couple months was this one called Kraven's Last Hunt.
I
Uber-
know who Craven is. Yeah, the hunter.
Yeah, Kraven the Hunter. Uber depressing story. That's all I can really say without giving so much away. But I encourage some of the audience who listens to this, all 8 of you, all 5 of you, however many, to like read some comic books. They're really good. The industry is kind of struggling, but it's kind of also its own fault. But please support
Yeah, I
them.
mean, I guess but it's not necessarily. I would say it's its fault, honestly.
There's this weird thing right now in the comic book industry where they kind of refuse to adapt to like the times. They still sell and
I feel like that's
advertise.
just a given. I feel like it's a given for most industries. Think about like the way news and like stuff like newspapers still are around. And like
Yeah,
most
newspapers.
people don't read them.
Well, yeah, newspapers is still around, but like you still have things like the internet. Like there's still news on the internet that you can look up and read. Most
Mhm.
the comic industry doesn't really have something like that. They still like don't really understand how to like get, because the one big thing about comic books right now, and the main reason people don't
Mhm.
read them or don't want to get into them, is because it looks difficult. It looks like a challenge
It does.
from the outside, and it's like, where do I even start? Where do I begin? I have to have all this knowledge beforehand to even understand what's going on, and it's not really told to people that like you don't necessarily need to have all that information. Like it kind of helps to understand like or get some neat references, but like
Mhm.
in all honesty, you could just pick up a random comic book in the middle of a run and probably read it and still enjoy it just about the same.
Okay. Because it totally does seem daunting to me too.
Yeah,
honestly, I
that
totally
was the
agree with
main reason I didn't get super into it until like recently, within like the past year and a half. But yeah, it's I wish they would like tell people that, and they wouldn't make it look confusing. Because when you look at a comic book and you look at the issue and it's like issue number 352 and it's like, wow, I have to read 351 comics just to understand this one comic book. It's like, no, you don't.
That does. It seems like too much. And you're just like, nope.
Yeah. I just wish they would. I wish they would change up their advertising. I wish they'd change it up. I wish they give like a more modern friendly
Mhm.
way to access comics. Like, I get the whole like you want to go to a comic book store and like order books there, but like, I wish you had comic
A lot of
books.
people don't.
Yeah, a lot of people don't go out of their way to a comic store because it's just too out of the way, or there's not one close enough nearby. I wish it'd be like,
Or again, it seems daunting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, man. One thing I hate about going to stores and stuff is when, like, if it's like especially a hobby thing,
Mhm.
I kind of feel like embarrassed that I don't know what I'm talking about. A lot of times, I'm like, when I first started going to Warhammer stores, I didn't know anything, and I felt kind of like shy walking in the door because I felt like a bum. Like I was like, I'm going in here like, what's this Warhammer thing? And like, I honestly, I feel like people never know how to explain it right to me. Because it took a lot of them really did not explain it well to me. And I asked them questions about things, and they're like, and they go on this pirate, and I'm like, that's great, but I don't know what the hell it means. You gotta break it down, brother.
Yeah. The only reason I got into Warhammer is because this one YouTuber, the Cosmonaut, explained it. He had a video about it, and it was a really good detailed video, and it really got me interested in it, and I just got into it from there. It was really fun. It's a really
Yeah.
good video. If you want to get into Warhammer, that's the video I recommend. I think we said that a couple of times by now, but You know, that's what they come here for, the quality content that we reuse. But like I was saying, the comic book industry, they don't have like this reason. They don't have like this. They don't have like something equivalent to like news, where news has like, oh, you can get the newspaper obviously still, but like there's newspaper online that you can use. Comic books are like, you have to go to like specifically a comic book store to get a comic, or you have to order it online. Is like the only difference now, and even then, it's like kind of hard sometimes. But
I feel like that's not necessarily their fault, because manga's like that very much. People who read manga really have to, know where to go and get it
Yeah.
and stuff.
but
And I don't know. I don't think this industry struggles, does it? I'm not
It's-
too familiar with
the
it, frankly.
the industry isn't doing that hot. It's not doing as well as it once was, and they're kind of
Okay.
struggling. But it doesn't really matter because they make most of their money from like the movies they make. But yeah,
That's true.
but
I wonder if one day comic movies will be comic movies, but they won't be based off a comic. They'll be like, the movies are what the comics are based off, and the comics are the secondary. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I guess we could do this.
yeah,
That'd be crazy.
that'd actually be kind of wild. But we are. I wish comic books were like, again, sold in your comic book stores, but they were also sold in places like your local Walmart or your local Target or something like that. And we're starting.
Honestly, if they sold them at Walmart, it would make it much more approachable for a lot of people.
Yeah, and
Just anything.
they started doing that. They have
Really?
have some comics at Walmart now, but they're not.
That's pretty
But they're
cool.
not where you think they are. They're not in
Where are they?
they're not in the book section. They're in the section with like the Pokemon cards and the Magic cards and all that. Like,
That's odd.
yeah, like why are they over there and not with the books or the magazine section? That seems so bizarre, so weird.
That does seem really weird, actually. Yeah.
So it's again, you have to like go out of your way to find them. Instead, you know what they should do, honestly.
Mm.
Honestly, I think in front of at least the premiere week or something like that. For every comic book movie, they should have like a free comic that they hand out, like they did for the Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad, yeah.
Yeah, where we got a free like Suicide Squad comic from AMC when we went to go see that movie. That'd be so much more enticing than like, or even if I've heard this from another channel where they were like, they should play like a little ad before the movie, and they should be like, if you're interested in this character or the stories after watching this movie, here's some good comic books to start with, and yada yada yada. I think it'd be kind of cool. I don't think that would ever
That would be
happen.
cool.
That would be cool.
They
I
just
don't-
try to sell you an NFT of it. They're like, hey, buy this NFT.
Yo, comic book NFTs, calling it right now. It's gonna happen this year. First person is gonna do it. Marvel. Calling it.
Yeah. I
And-
agree.
And if I'm right, I'm gonna post this on Twitter, and I'm gonna be like, haha, look at me. I'm a fucking psychic, bitch.
Yeah, I could almost 100% guarantee Marvel will do NFTs this year.
I can guarantee they've done one NFT. Yeah, they have.
They have?
Yeah, when we went to go watch Spider-Man: No Way Home, they gave us a free Spider-Man NFT. If you
Are you
bought
serious?
it, if you bought the tickets ahead of time, yeah, from AMC.
I bought them ahead of time from AMC. I didn't get no NFT.
I don't know. I have to ask Sandra because she was the one that got an NFT from them.
That's insanity.
She showed me what it was, and I was like, "This is wow." I don't know if there's people selling it online. Oh no, there was. I remember there's something ridiculous like $500 selling for it. Listen, I'm gonna be your local NFT basher. That's me, because we started off the episode bashing NFTs. And here we are again bashing NFTs, and I can guarantee you at the end this is just going to be a long NFT hate ramble. It'd be funny.
Was they ever out?
It'd be funny if I put a screenshot of an NFT as the thumbnail. I could use Eminem's.
Or like a really shitty, like one of those monkey NFTs, like one that you don't even own.
I'm going to use one of the ones where it's just a monkey and the lion one kissing, having a gay sex.
You know, like that art where it's like Mario and Sonic kissing or whatever? Do that, but for the monkeys.
Why isn't that an NFT?
Honestly.
They've been discussing.
Scully, are you there?
Oh my god. Scully. I think he's. Hold on.
Sorry, guys. I'm just really tired.
That's
Were you
alright.
asleep?
No, I'm awake. I'm just resting my eyes.
I cannot believe you were sleeping on the podcast. That's so funny.
No, I wasn't. I was actually just resting my eyes, like
Oh,
In your mouth,
genuinely.
genuinely just
What?
resting
in your
my-
mouth, and your ears. Like my man's be dead.
Dude, it's 9:30.
What are you?
It is getting late.
What are you old? 9:30.
Yeah.
Those are rookie numbers.
I mean, it is getting.
I'm
late,
just
Wrong,
kidding.
19.
I'm just kidding. Because like I've noticed when I've gotten older, 9:30 hits
It's like you
different.
turn 8, like holy shoot, I'm tired now. I'm like, what the hell? Like
Yeah.
I want to go to bed.
I've noticed that once it hit 9:30 and I was 18, I was like, wow, it's 9:30. It's time for me to go to bed.
Like I'm a loser. No.
What is this I feel? I feel old. Man, I remember when I was like 15, I was like, oh, it's only 9:30, man. Come on.
Yeah, it's another 12 hours till I gotta go to bed.
Man, I ain't gonna go to sleep until 2 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, how did you do that?
Now. Oh man, it's 9:30. That's only 12 hours of sleep. No.
No. I swear, I only get like 9 hours of sleep or something like that. And I'm like dead. I go to work and I'm like, I can't do this. I
Yeah,
don't.
you just feel crap. You're like, oh god.
Sometimes I'm surprised I can even drive to work on like 9 hours of sleep because it's like just terrible, just the worst. I
You
can't.
feel old.
I know. I feel old. I feel bitter. My back has been giving me problems recently. I'm afraid.
For some reason, I just have all these hateful opinions about all sorts of people. Like before, I was really nice, and now I'm just like,
Once I turned
just wanna-
18, my back started hurting. Like my face feels like mush, and my teeth feel like they're about to fall out. And I have these weird opinions where I hate new things, and I hate people of like not looking like
that I
me.
don't understand. Yeah, I hate people I don't understand. Like, man, it's like I just can't keep these opinions to myself. Wow, I don't know why.
Whenever I see people with blonde hair or like piercings, I just stare at them for like a really long time, and I don't understand it. Whenever
Even though I have tattoos, every time I see someone with a tattoo, I just feel the urge to tell them that's permanent. Like, that's permanent, by the way. Like, yeah, I just have to.
I have this weird,
What else would I do?
I have this weird
Compliment it?
sensation.
Like,
I have this weird sensation where I just need to go on Facebook and I need to post something ridiculous, something stupid, something that people will look at
and also
when
hurtful too.
and hurtful. Something people look at when I'm dead and go, ah, I'm glad. that's so,
Yup.
that's so disgusting. I'm glad. That's so hateful.
Oh man, if I died, I'd be glad too.
Honestly, I'd say you do.
You'd be glad if I was dead, damn, bro. No, you feel.
That's not what I meant, but you know what? Sure.
So you scream.
See, now you're gaslighting me. See, now I feel young again. If I say gaslighting, I feel young. I feel like
When I see someone say gaslighting, I feel like it's the oldest thing you could say in the world.
oh mate, can you stop some of that gaslighting? I gotta get me thumbs warm. But if I'm looking at the time correctly, we're actually running up on the time. So
17 hours, yeah.
yeah, look at us. We've been doing good. So I'm gonna call an episode here. So if you liked what you heard, please consider subscribing.
Or didn't like what you heard.
If you didn't like what you heard, please definitely subscribe. And leave us a question on why we suck. Why? Well, yeah, that's been the episode. Of course, as always, I'm joined by Johnny, and the presence of Scully is here. But
Is it, though?
is it not? Who knows? But yeah, that's our episode.
It is.
Thank you. So that's going to be our episode, but that being said, thank you, and we'll see you all next time.